Hi viewers, thank you for following me. This is uma.blogspot.in. Based on your request today, we are going to see about coping with stress. People cope with stress in a great many ways, but we can group most of them into two major categories: monitoring and blunting. In monitoring, one attends carefully to the stressful event and tries to take effective action. In blunting, one tries to avoid the stressful event or at least avoid thinking about it. Some people tend to rely more on one style than on the other, right? But it is best to vary one strategy depending on circumstances. In particular, it is best to take action, that is monitoring, if you have any control over the situation. Let us see one example. If you have test taking anxieties, you could try to relax and not think about the test. But if you instead spend time studying for the test, you will probably improve your grade and reduce your anxiety, right? Similarly, if you have troubles in your marriage or with your job, the best way to reduce the stress is to search for a solution to the problem, right? However, suppose your stress comes from having to lie in a hospital bed, awaiting an operation or recovering from one, or sitting in a dentist chair for some unpleasant procedure. Now you can't run away, right? Attack or do anything else to control the situation. You just have to sit there and endure it. In such case, you should turn to a blunting strategy, right? So these are all coping styles and strategies. Let us see about monitoring strategies. Whenever a stressful situation is at all controllable, people feel better if they take action. In fact, even an ineffective action makes them feel better, right? As long as they think it might be effective. So, here we consider the importance of a sense of control and then discuss a few additional monitoring strategies. So, let us see the importance of predictability and control, right? Let us start with the contrasting two hypothetical situations. First, imagine that some torturer is keeping you awake 24 hours per day. You have no way of escaping and no way of knowing how long the torture will last. But in fact, it lasts 3 days until someone finally liberates you. Contrast that experience with an experiment in which you agree to go without sleep for 3 days. You could quit if you wanted, but in fact you don't, right? Why does a predictable and controllable event produce less stress than an unpredictable or uncontrollable event? One explanation is that we fear an unpredictable, uncontrollable event, right? May grow so intense that it will eventually become unbearable. If we have some control, we tell ourselves that we can do something if the situation becomes unbearable. A second explanation is that when an event is predictable, we can prepare for it at the appropriate time and relax at other times, right? If you dread being called upon to answer questions in the class and your professor calls and students at random, you have to remain tense and ready at all the times, right? But if your professor calls on students in alphabetical order, you can relax until shortly before your turn. Hope you understood this, right? So let us see what is inoculation. Now, very interesting inoculation. A stressful experience is less disturbing if you know what to expect. But it is hard to know what to expect if you have not been through the experience before, right? Sometimes a good solution is to get a small scale preview of a stressful experience that you may face later. In other words, you can inoculate or immunize yourself against stressful experiences. One way to inoculate yourself against stressful events is to expose yourself to smaller amounts of such events beforehand. Right? So, next let us discuss about social support. A great many people have undergone a severely painful experience at one time or another. Perhaps you were beaten or sexually molested, perhaps you were responsible for someone else's injury, perhaps you attempted suicide, perhaps someone humiliated you in public. Whatever your experience, you may decide that it was too painful even to think about it, much less talk about it, right? Therefore, the pain builds up inside. It's inside. So, people who have had painful experiences reported that they feel better after they have a chance to talk about them to someone or even just write about them. In many cases, gain the greatest support by talking with people who have lived through similar cases, right? People with strong friendship tend to be healthier than other people for a variety of reasons, including improved functioning of the immune system. And many people without friends don't even try to take good care of themselves. Okay. Then next let us see about beliefs as coping strategies. What may be? In the long run, I shall be more successful than most. Then we can think like, sure, I have my strengths and weakness, but my strengths are in areas that are important, my weaknesses are in the areas that don't really matter. Then when I fail, it is because I didn't try hard enough or because I got some bad breaks, not because of any lack of ability, right? Like that. No matter how bad or good things are, they are going to get better. Right now, I am sad that my wife or my husband left me, but in the long run, I'll be better off without her or without him. I lost my job, okay, but in many ways, it was crummy job. I more I think about it, the happier I am about it, I can get a better one. These are all the beliefs as coping strategies. Then what are the blunting strategies? Blunting strategies do not attempt to solve the underlying problems, but they help us to manage our reactions to them, right? There are three common examples are relaxation, exercise, and distraction. You know what is relaxation? Because sometimes people have a real problem such as an impending medical operation that they cannot control. Okay, at other times they get nervous even when they have no real problem. Okay, in such situation it is helpful to try to relax. Okay, some suggestion I can give, like find a quiet place, do not insist on absolute silence, just to find a spot where the noise is least disturbing, or adopt a comfortable position, relaxing your muscles. If you are not sure how to do so, then start with the opposite. Tense all your muscles so you become fully aware of how they feel. Then relax. Then one by one, starting from your toes and working systematically towards your head. Then reduce sources of stimulation, including your own thoughts. Focus your eyes on a simple, unexcited, objects. On repeat something over and over, a sentence, a phrase, a prayer, like that. Don't worry about anything, not even about relaxing. Then, if worries, thoughts keep popping into your head, just dismiss them with "oh well," like that. So some people call this practice as a meditation. People who practice this techniques daily report that they feel less stress. So many of them improve their overall health because of this. Then exercise. Exercise also can help to reduce stress. it may seem contradictory to say that both relaxation and exercise reduce stress, but exercise does help more, people relax, right? Then distraction. Another powerful blunting strategy is distraction. For example, many people find that they can reduce dental pain by playing a video games or by watching comics or television. Right? So this effectiveness of distraction depends partly on people's expectation. Okay, distraction also helps us to cope up with non-painful stress, right? So these are all the coping with the stress. So hope you enjoyed and understood. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubts, leave them down in the comment section. If you want me to provide audio notes or any other topics, leave them down in the comment too. Otherwise, refer to my blog. This is uma.blogspot.in for more of the content. And don't forget to subscribe to the blog and the YouTube channel. Thank you so much.